Trees, they seem so solitary, a thing for humans to use and consume. They can't speak, feel emotions, feel pain. They grow from the ground in one spot, unable to move. Only important when we, humans, need something from them, like a house, paper, clean air perhaps. But what if there was more to them than what we were taught? What if they do talk, but not in the same manner as a human? What if they do feel pain, but they express it in a different way? What if they do care for those around them? Have you ever really thought about how a tree gets water from the ground through its roots? No, I mean, really think about it. A tree's roots actually pulls water from the ground up its trunk. Against all odds, against gravity itself, it has pulled water up. How? Yes, it's alive, but how does it tell itself to do that? The human body without consciousness does not know to beat the heart. It does not know without a beating heart that blood would not move through the body, resulting in the organs, muscle, and tissue not getting the things it needs. Without human consciousness, the body is just matter that will eventually decompose. Does this mean the tree has a consciousness? And if it had a consciousness, then would it be much like the human body? The trunk or matter is what gives us form on this planet, but who we really are is our consciousness, the energy that fills the brain, what actually keeps matter alive. Do trees feel pain? That I do not know. But something that crossed my mind one time hiking was, what exactly was sap? And what was its purpose? Other than to be unbearable to wash off my hands. Well, sap contains the nutrients trees need to stay alive. It is what travels through the tree feeding it, much like how nutrients travel through human blood. The blood is the vessel that's used to get our nutrients to where they need to go, keeping the human body alive. When a limb of a tree is cut or damaged, sap is released. Could that be similar to how blood reacts when a human injures itself, pooling to the open cut to try and accelerate the healing process? If trees respond to injuries like us, does that mean they can feel pain as well? Maybe they are just unable to vocalize how they feel because they do not have the ability to express sound. But that does not mean they cannot feel pain. Maybe pain is expressed through a vibration or a sound that the human ear cannot hear, much like dog whistles. The possibility that a tree can feel is there. We may not know one way or the other as fact, but just because it can't be proven doesn't mean it's been disproven. And what about if they can talk? We just went over how they don't have vocal cords, so wouldn't that mean they wouldn't be able to talk as well? I mean, I'm just saying. Let's think outside the box for a moment. Trees send chemicals to each other through their roots. In a forest, many trees of different species and ages connect through microscopic fungi filaments. This I actually just learned from German author of The Hidden Life of Trees, Peter Wallenben. Peter has spent over 20 years working for the Forestry Commission and has learned much on his journey with nature. So what does that mean exactly? Why are trees connected to each other beneath the earth? Well, it sounds much like a network, similar to one in the human body. Neurons, by means of electrical impulses and chemical signals, send messages through the body. It is very similar to the network of roots between trees. When a human is scared, it sends chemicals and signals, preparing the body to be able to respond to that threat. Well, according to Wallenben, when a tree feels threatened, for instance from an insect, it will send signals to the other trees in its network. And in doing this, it's helping those trees to get their defenses up quicker. But trees don't have arms or legs. Is this woman on crack? No, they don't have arms or legs, correct. But the defenses they do have are acids that can be produced to ward off animal predators from eating it to death, and hormones such as growth hormones to speed healing time and to help it grow larger to increase its survival rate. Maybe signaling other trees through their root systems is their way of speaking to each other. Someone who is mute speaks with their hands, so why would this theory not be possible? If it is possible, why would a tree warn another tree, especially if it has no feelings? If it doesn't have the ability to feel compassion, if it didn't have a consciousness, why would it send a message? Well, why do parents and grandparents try to warn children of certain things in life? Because they care. Because they want them to survive with the least amount of pain as possible. Most, anyways. Can you think of any other reason why a tree would try to help other trees around it? Maybe trees understand how to care. For if they didn't, then why do they try to help those around them? Wallenben mentioned something else that I had never thought about. Have you ever wondered about a tree trunk that has been cut down and yet years later it's still alive? No, not really, but I'm sure you're going to tell me anyways. Yes, I am. First, I need to explain how photosynthesis works. Photo what to the what? Photosynthesis. A tree uses its leaves to breathe in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. And with the combination of the water it absorbed through its roots and the light from the sun, which is absorbed through the leaves, it is able to make glucose and oxygen. The glucose is the food it needs to survive. Remember that sap we were talking about earlier? And the oxygen is a byproduct that is given to humans and animals to help us survive. So wait, if a tree has no leaves, then how does it stay alive? Why doesn't it just rot and decompose into the ground? Good questions. It has nothing to breathe in the carbon dioxide, nor the ability to absorb light, 2 out of the 3 key components it needs to create food for itself. So yes, how does that tree trunk stay alive? Well, one theory is the trees around it are sharing their food with it. I know, crazy, right? They share it through that underground network they formed with their root systems and the fungi filaments, much like a family takes care of its elders. It's also thought that by keeping certain tree trunks alive, that tree can share its wisdom to those around it, making future generations of trees stronger. Another fascinating thing about trees is that they never fight over resources. One tree does not try to absorb all the food it can, even though, because the trees are connected, it would be possible. No, instead they share amongst each other, only taking what they need to stay alive and grow, leaving the excess for other trees. The family of trees is the complete opposite of a solitary lifestyle. They actually thrive more in groups because they can network and help each other, whether it's in nutrition or in teaching. So, if a tree has the ability to talk, to feel, and to care, well, wouldn't that mean they need a consciousness to motivate those things? Maybe they are more like humans than what we realize.